Okay. All right. Well, as folks settle in, thank you for joining us today. It's the Villas webinar, Building a Backyard Home in California. I am Ryan Maudlin. I'm a senior home consultant with Villa and have been with the company pretty much since they started. And it's been amazing to see the progress and how far we've come in such little time. Villa is an ADU builder and project manager based out of San Francisco. And just in the past few years, Villa has become the largest ADU builder in the whole nation. And that's pretty amazing if you think about it, considering some of the new laws and things didn't come out even until 2020. And it's been a bit of a chaotic last couple of years anyways, just in the world. So being able to truly provide a lot of housing for folks all over California by really combining technology and the largest home manufacturers in the nation, we've really enhanced the ability for customers to get an ADU in their backyard faster and for the best value possible, better than ever. We like to do these webinars really just so you guys can get a concentrated glimpse into some of the main focus items that our early home builders are seeking knowledge on. So towards the end of this webinar, we'll definitely do some Q&A, but at the same time, you're going to get a recording of the webinar and you'll have an option to get started with us. And there's a nice link on the homepage of our website that you can put in your address, answer a couple questions, even design a home of your choosing and get a quick quote, which is really helpful. You'll also be getting an opportunity to schedule a call with a Villa representative if you just have some questions prior to feeling like you're ready to get going. And you also will then have the option of signing up for a project proposal. And that is what we'll talk about today, fully refundable $500 fee, but you are getting a ton of information about building a home on your property. All right, well, let's get into it. So some of the focus items that we'll talk about today are really understanding more about what California is defining an ADU as, and definitely take a look at some of those new rules and regulations around building ADUs. More information, of course, about Villa and our amazing floor plans and 10 different sizes of homes and our proprietary designs, our all-inclusive building process, how we've really leveraged technology and in-house engineers to make the process really smooth for our customers. And then, of course, we can talk about the process of getting started. If you're excited about exploring this further and you've been thinking about this for a long time, we have a great opportunity for you to get your feet wet, say, by exploring it without any commitment financially. It's still a fully refundable $500. So sit back and enjoy. Again, that Q&A feature will work. We've got some folks behind the scenes being able to answer those questions, and we'll still leave some time towards the end. All right, so what is an ADU? It's an accessory dwelling unit. They've obviously been referred to a variety of names in the past, from granny flats to guest houses, casitas, second units. They range in different shapes and sizes, styles. But really, if you think about it, the state has now defined it as a home that is secondary to a primary residence and has permanent provisions for cooking, living, and sleeping. They can be detached from your primary home or attached. Villa really just focuses on detached ADUs. We can bypass a lot of extra steps that are required if you're doing more or less a traditional addition off of your primary home. So we found that's the most cost-effective, fastest option of creating a house on your property, is that we can do it detached. There's also things like junior ADUs, conversions. There's lots there, and we'll get into it a little bit, but Villa really just focuses on the detached ADUs. Just so you know, a junior ADU is more like creating, turning in one of your bedrooms into a small space that is called a junior ADU, and you can technically rent it out. Has to have a door off of the side, its own egress point. So let's take a look at some of those laws that went into effect at the beginning of 2020 that has really been a major game changer for allowing everyday homeowners in California to legally be able to build an ADU on their property, which may have not been the case due to some of these strict laws just a few years ago. And really, a lot of them have been because of statewide consistent guidelines. The states come in and said, it is your legal right now to build at least up to 800 square feet, and a lot of jurisdictions even more, an ADU on your property as long as you're within just some setbacks. And they've reduced that to only 4 feet off the sides and rear of the property. And we can usually get fairly close to the primary, at least 7 or 8 feet off is typically what we like. Another one is that, yes, you can have a detached ADU and a junior ADU. So you can turn your single family residential parcel into a triplex, essentially. Another one is that they have switched from a discretionary review process from the local jurisdiction to a ministerial review process, meaning that as long as you check boxes, they have to approve that, and they have to do it within 60 days or come back with comments about how that they can get that approved for you. So that's really been a major change there. They've reduced the permit fees, taken away things like parking requirements or even covered parking spaces. No owner occupancy is a huge one. It allows you to build on an investment property and not have to occupy it just so you can build an ADU and provide housing for more people. It is possible, and we have several projects now that if you don't have the space in your backyard, we may be able to get you an ADU in your front yard, and it has happened. So we'd love to talk to you more about that. The California laws too for multifamily have really opened up the space and become pretty great for investors and people that own multifamily parcels. There's an example here in Santa Cruz of an 8-unit apartment building, and we were able to build 4 ADUs because of these new laws. A couple of them are conversion ADUs, and others are just traditional detached ADUs. So it's been pretty amazing, and that's really started up even new companies from an investment side of helping provide more housing by building on multifamily parcels. And we've got in-house experts if you are own a multifamily parcel and interested in working with us to find out more information about what legally could be put on your parcel. So, really, why now? Why are the ADUs really taking off? And it's really because of a convergence of a lot of things. The pandemic hit right shortly thereafter, the laws changing in 2020, and that was an accelerant to the ADU business. It really quarantining changed how people thought about their living spaces and started relying much more heavily on their properties and homes than ever before. Technology obviously has enabled us to work remotely now, and a lot of people are just seeking a quiet place to work. A lot of companies are encouraging you to work from home, and that could be a permanent option for you. So let's try to get you some quiet space to work from. Still, historically, we're seeing a higher demand for housing, and that pushes prices up, and it makes it really difficult for first-time home buyers to build when the demand for housing is still so high. And then too, the kind of the pandemic has showed us that we want to keep our loved ones closer. We want to, care home facilities are really expensive, and we're just thinking differently about a way to provide housing for our loved ones as they age in place. So who is building with Villa and why? Well, just about everybody, from that, the main takeaway is I would love to have an opportunity to have a multi-generational property. And then it's an XYZ purpose or use case right into what the first use is going to be. A lot of times it's all 3 of these things. It's create housing for family members. Maybe we can downsize from our larger home and move into a 2-2. And that could be a nice option to provide housing to a loved one. A little bit lighter on from a retirement standpoint, have less space, less things to take care of and clean, and a lot less cost to live. You've got those first-time home buyers that are seeking to just stay in the places that we grew up and how difficult that can be. An ADU is a great opportunity for you to be able to provide housing for that young couple or someone who's trying to start off in their career. And then, of course, all of these have an investment standpoint to them too. They're not only adding legal square footage to your property and a tremendous extra value to your property, but we are, typically are able to get as much rent or more for the home as if you were to finance the entire project. So it's long-term, obviously, real estate has been the safest bet, and ADUs are just making it that much more attractive. So let's get into why you may choose to work with Villa. And really, we are, again, really trying to help provide solutions by utilizing technology and then the largest manufacturers in North America. So first, let's take a look at traditional construction process and kind of highlight why Villa is set up to create a much better experience for home builders. So the traditional home construction process is really tough to define what that first step is. It's complicated, and we've got all sorts of different first steps to define. It's really, what's the difference between a site survey and a soils test? And do I need a civil engineer drainage plan? It's just very hard to define the first step and figure out what to do and who's going to take care of what. And do I really need to spend this $4,000 report? It's usually a lot of separate professionals who are not necessarily working together with one another on your project. So it could be someone different that does the design. You may be on your own for permitting. Then whoever ends up building it is going to be separate from those two people. Who's going to manage that builder to make sure it stays on time and on budget? And then who do you call 3 months later once you've moved in and a light switch doesn't work? So it's really inconsistent workflow, and it's no fault to the typical contractor. There's just really no way to have a realistic timeline or realistic information around true cost or when the timeline is that this project is going to be complete. Things have been very unknown in the industry, especially this last year with lumber rates and supply chain shortages. And, it's just very difficult to define what something truly will cost and how long it's going to take from a contractor standpoint. Not to mention, that doesn't usually include a project manager to have someone really manage that process for you. So you end up doing it yourself. And then that's, a year of your life that you're stressing about trying to micromanage this whole process that you're not necessarily the professional that should be doing it in the first place. Just talking about it is an obvious sign that we could do something better, and we could really make out a better process to help our customers get a hold of ADUs in a little more seamless process. And it starts by a faster timeline. They just end up costing less. There's less waste. It's a much more smooth process. And from a customer's perspective, we take care of everything for you. And that's really who Villa is. We are the leading full service ADU experts and partner with you every step of the way. And that's not just, hey, let's get you a house that you like and deliver it to you, and then you got to take care of everything else. We are truly there with our own designs and working with you from a design standpoint. We have super good financial partners. We've scoured the nation for the best ADU lenders and have them as partners now, and can provide their information to you if you want to talk about financing options. We have an in-house permit department that is really your local expert to making sure that we've got all the rules, regulations, and code and zoning items down before we submit that permit. We have project management services included. You've got someone holding your hand the entire way through the entire process. You don't have to call an electrician, or you don't have to worry about doing grading or who's going to do the foundation. We are taking care of all of it for you. If they're not all on our own team, they're local experts that we've been using and certified vendors of our team that we know will provide a good, fast service at the price that we have committed to. So we handle all of that communication and then give you a bumper to bumper warranty at the end of the project, so you can move in and feel certain that there's a whole team there able to help you even after we finish the project. So I love this slide. This is it's kind of unbelievable. So besides just bragging rights, it's just a staggering number of people who now have ADUs literally in their backyards, especially when you consider that most of those favorable ADU laws went into effect less than 3 years ago. So all of these people all have ADUs in their backyard right now. We have hundreds of other projects in various stages, but all of these here between Northern California and Southern California, and all of these different counties all have homes. And it's pretty amazing. We were going to put together all the cities that we have projects in, but it's well over 100 different jurisdictions, and it just would have been kind of too many text on the slide. So we bundled it into all of the different counties that we have, which is still well over a dozen. So this is important because you can lean on us as the local expert. We're not trying to just deliver a home somewhere that we don't have a full network and construction management team and permit experts knowledge on. We are growing, and we're growing quickly, but we don't establish ourselves and provide proposals to people unless they are within our buildable area, which is luckily most of the Bay Area, a lot of Central California, and all over Southern California now. So it's been kind of a volatile world these last few years, and it's very hard to predict most of the time what something will cost. And most people are not even aware of what gas may cost in a week from now. So it's unfair to think that a contractor would be able to tell you lumber rates or the availability of windows 6 months from now from a traditional building standpoint. And that's really where we come in, dozens of active projects in your neighborhood, which allows our team to dynamically update prices week by week and give you price proposal within just a couple of weeks of working together based off of your zip code. And that is a pretty amazing new feature that Villa has become offering to our customers of a dynamic pricing. We also are helping you lock in all of the material rates, lumber costs, everything to build the home, and then all of the site work required really before you make any sizable commitment financially to our company. We want to make sure that you have all of the true, accurate information in hand prior to feeling like you're ready to start building with us. So Villa has 10 different floor plans, and they're all proprietary to us. We can mirror or flip the floor plans. We can rotate them. We work with you to place them to scale on a site map for you. And that really helps you visualize how it fits, where the doors are, where the windows are. And given that opportunity, we think that we offer more floor plans, especially the larger ones, than anybody else. And we're able to find a floor plan that's going to be perfect for you or pretty close without you having to go out and build a custom home and take on all that burden yourself. So Villa has just really set out to be transparent from the get-go. We're trying to build affordable houses. We're trying to help solve the housing crisis. We have a fast timeline. We are HUD compliant homes. They are made right here in California and really have curated design packages, not only from the layouts, but also true design packages from interior designers have helped us design decor and spec selections for all of our homes that you can now select from. And you've got everything. Besides these homes, you don't have to hit Title 24 on some of those. So we're able to bypass some solar requirements quite often. You can always add solar if you like. There's multiple different ways to deliver these homes. We're just trying to get you a house that's pretty close to exactly what you want, with really nice designs and really nice decor selections as quickly as possible for the best price possible here in California. So let's take a look at some of our floor plans. We'll start with these single bedroom designs. All of these are going to fall into that category of that quintessential backyard granny unit. It's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. They all have kitchens. They all have living spaces. They all have availability for washer and dryers. So they're full homes. They're just in a smaller footprint. So if the 450 is the only one that you're able to build, that's totally fine. It's still a nice sizable home. I think I had one just right here. That top right corner is a 450 with a shed style roof. It's a lovely home, and it was what could fit in the backyard, and it really provided a space for a loved one. So all of these are going to be great multi-purpose spaces for you, as either rental properties or offices, temporary housing for loved ones, extended family stay, you name it. As we get into the 2-bedroom options, this is where it really starts to get more like, this is a longer term solution investment. We have the space, it's relatively close in total project cost to go up a couple notches if you have the space. A lot of the site work is similar, and the process and grading and a foundation and bringing the utilities there, landings and gutters and downspouts, you have a lot of that in a house. So if you have the space and you're considering something larger, this is where villas really can shine, because we have several large floor plans starting at around 660 square feet all the way up to 1,200 square feet, and these 2-bedroom options that are really worth taking a look at, because now with 2 bedrooms, you can have both. You can have a place for yourself to have an office in your backyard, plus you can rent out the entire unit to someone else. The possibilities are endless. We think that, that 650B or that 750 is probably a faster, we know it's a faster option to add square footage to your property than trying to do an addition in a traditional way to your home, changing the roof and, maybe having to retrofit the entire house to add this new addition. It's incredibly disruptive to do that to the property and to your livelihood. So all of these are great options to just add more square footage, get a couple more bedrooms, get some space, and use it however you like. As we get into that 800 square foot, 1,000, 1,200 square foot range, like these are full houses. These are walk-in closets and double vanities in the bathrooms, and full kitchens and kitchen islands and laundry rooms, and just things that you have become accustomed to in your in a traditional home. So if you look on a lot of folks can fit an 800 square foot design on even a property as small as maybe even 5,000 or 6,000 square foot lot, because of the dimensions. It's a nice rectangular shape with a 20 by 40 design. We also have that 1,000 square foot 2-2. A lot of people like this as a 2-bedroom option. They don't really want 3 bedrooms, but let's get more space and really open it up. This is a very popular floor plan, and it's just amazing to see how open it is when you go inside. All of our floor plans have 9-foot ceilings, interior flat, and some even have different roof lines that we'll talk about next. But all of these homes are going to feel really large. I'm actually standing in one right now, a 1,200 square foot model home of ours in Santa Rosa. They've got these huge clear story windows, 9-foot flat ceilings, canned lighting. You've got kitchen islands, all the appliances, stainless steel, everything's included. We did all the hard work for you. You just get to go through a process and making it your own. These 3-bedroom homes too, like that 1,200A might be the most efficient use of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in 1,200 square feet that's ever been made. Our own architectural team designed that home last year, and it's amazing. It has 2 vanities in the main bedroom ensuite. It's got a really large open kitchen, living, dining space, a huge walk-in closet. You have an option for an 8-foot island in that house, and that's a very large island. You can fit 4 or 5 bar stools up on that, and just really create a really pretty amazing opportunity for hosting and just having loved ones over a modern day kitchen table, if you will. So as I mentioned, we can change the roof profile really for our single unit designs. So up all the way up to that 650B, from the 450 all the way up to the 650B. We can change the roof profile. So if you wanted something a little more modern looking, you can have that shed style look. But man, I tell you, most of our projects are that gable style roof because they're trying to match what is already on the property, which a majority of the homes built in California have a more gable style roof line. Very similar to the room I'm standing in, this living room. Very nice high ceilings. All those clear story windows are included. Lots of natural light. You can enhance the window size. You can enhance how large that space is feeling. You can add sliding glass doors. Our bathroom options are awesome. You can have really nice high porcelain tile all around, or a subway tile. There's lots of different options there. Your bathroom vanity countertop matches the kitchen, just really looks cohesive with the design. Again, options for kitchen islands with electricity and pendant lights and lots of storage, farmhouse sinks, just kind of giving everybody what they've been asking for with designs without just having to get into that custom world. If I didn't mention it before, all of our floor plans names are correlated with the square footage. So that 450, 440 square feet. The 550 is about 560 square feet and all the way up to the 1200s. This couple images here of 12. This is a 1000A. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. And it's just stunning how big it is and how much space you have. It's not taking up that much space in the yard, but inside, when the design is right, and you're really utilizing every square inch, and high ceilings, and then even higher ceilings with the clear story windows, man, it's a beautiful home, and it's a beautiful space. And it's something, a lot of customers start designing these ADUs, and then they see what they look like, and they're like, man, maybe I should just move in to this ADU and rent out my primary home. I wanted to show you kind of what would happen if you continued working with us. And really from here, we would go into and just highly suggest doing an instant quote with us. And it's on our website. It's called a Get Started tool. And you're able to, let me just show you here. Once you hit that Get Started button, you are able to put in your address and see instantly, what can I build in Oakland? I can build a 3-bedroom home up to 1,000 square foot. You can see a lot of options for ready-built units. That's homes that are already available. And you can also see build to order if you wanted to design your own. Let's just select this 800 here. You can design the home. Again, leveraging technology, you can build a house from the comfort of your living room, really these days. And that's something we're really proud about. You can see different floor plan options of flipping the design, alternative kitchen layouts. There's just kind of this endless scroll here with great options. I've selected the large window package. You can add sliding glass doors and skylights and extra windows over the showers. There's just a lot of things here, covered porch options, different appliances you can have, and smart thermostats. You can include air conditioning or washers and dryers, different roof styles you can do, various colors you can have. And that, Dover gray, toasted almond, these are all really popular Go down and choose your colors of your cabinetry. This is all, you can get this done relatively quickly, and it's all for free, and it's on our website right now. And really be able to just pick out everything you want in this home so you can get an instant quote. And that is super helpful to get a true general range of what a project like this may cost without spending hours just trying to get to the bottom line of like, are we even in the ballpark here? So it's really helpful. I highly suggest it. It's free. It helps you kind of get a feel for what it'd be like working with us. And it's a great opportunity to get a realistic look at what something like this would actually cost. And it's super fun to use that design studio. Our team is super proud of that. And this type of platform and your own customer portal continues with you throughout the project. So this would be the same way if you from here wanted to continue working with us. You can go to submit this refundable $500 deposit. Again, it's fully refundable, but we just want to make sure, one, you're in an area that we can build a home for. We want to check that property a little bit and make sure we can deliver it. We need to make sure you're the homeowner, things like that. And it's just for that reason we can't offer it to be a free service, but know that it is fully refundable for any reason. So if you can get started with us, you submit that refundable $500 fee, just hit the button and it will prompt you to sign up and start working with a home consultant like myself to really dive in a lot deeper to a project like this. And again, that customer portal follows you even further. It gets you that whole project proposal and every little line item breakdown of everything that our site engineers think that you should allocate for your project. And it also will continue with you into the permitting stage, and your pre-construction project manager will have access to it. It's just a really, really nice, transparent way of working with a company that, unfortunately, even just a couple, 3 years ago, it's been just very much in the dark and lots of phone calls and quick emails. And I thought we were doing this today, type of conversations, and we're just trying to get it right out in the front of it, trying to utilize technology to make it really a clean, smooth process and get you what you wanted when you reached out to us initially. So I definitely have some time for some questions. If you we're getting towards the end here, so start thinking of those questions, and we can try to hit a few of those towards the end of this call. If you did keep working with us, this traditional projects timeline, I wanted to share this with you because that project proposal is refundable, but it is part of the process of building this home. We kind of have to do all of that first work in order for us to arrive at a true understanding of feasibility and code and zoning and the placement of your home. Because as soon as you continue working with us into phase one, we're going to try to get you a permit for that home that we've designed with you. So we want to make sure we've got all of our ducks in a row from day one in that project proposal process. So it's a really smooth process through phase one, getting a permit approval. You don't have to pull the permit or buy that permit just yet. You can really just get a permit approval, and that's valid for a year, and feel like, okay, now we can get all of these subcontractors out, and every little person that's going to be involved in this project, we'll do that for you and prepare a full deep dive down to the dollar total project cost that you then lock in for the entire duration of the project. And that is vastly different than anybody else, even other prefab builders that are doing that. There's nobody that I know of that truly locks in the price of the entire project. You're buying the whole thing off the shelf before you're making any serious financial commitments to our company. But we just hope that it's so close to what we initially said and got you pretty close on that project, that free quick quote, that it's just a continuation of the same story. And that's really what we're after. So in the time that we're actually building with you in that phase two, that blue bar, then that's just a fun, fast, exciting time of your life where the home is being built offsite. We've got site work started, and Now, all of a sudden, these two things are going to come together. And 4 weeks ago, there was nothing at the site. And now there's a home that just got delivered today. It's 90% complete. And you've got, all the appliances in it. And you're walking through it and hitting light switches, thinking it's going to turn on because it just looks so complete upon arrival. And it makes for a really fun, really exciting process, and really not a lot of effort on your behalf to get this fairly large project done. And we can do it really quickly and without much disruption to your property or the tenants in a rental property of yours. It's the best way to build a home, especially like an ADU. It's the best way to build without really causing major disruption, known timelines, and a locked-in price. It's tough to beat it. So we also have these ready-built units, and that is something new that we're offering as of a few months ago. And they're homes that our team has readily available, and they're already built, and they're ready to be delivered to your property. And we will expedite your project. We will put it as a high priority. We'll get you through permitting as fast as we can, so you can get that home in months. These are shaving off probably 4 or 5 months of our total project timeline. That last slide was, about 10 months, 9 months is a traditional timeline, with 3 months or so given for permitting stage. These are homes that are already done. The price of the house doesn't change at all. The house is complete. You're just reserving that home for that cost as soon as you start working with us. And we're just flying you through permitting, finalizing site work, getting all the crew ready, and doing everything for you in an expedited process. So it's a pretty amazing opportunity to be able to see all of the different floor plans that we have available on our website, and be able to decide if you want to build your own, or if, man, timeline is important to you and you want to for sure lock in the cost as early as possible. Let's take a look at those ready-built units for you. So like I said, you want to start with Villa with that instant quote. It's something that's going to help you get inspired about different home designs and options. You're not fixed to that floor plan if you select it, but it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what you should allocate for that entire project. And it also helps us, like the home consultants, once we start working with you in that project proposal stage, because we can see kind of the journey you've already been on and what you're considering, and how we can really dive into it and make all of those meetings together really efficient. We have about 3 meetings together typically once you've signed up for a project proposal, and that's that $500 refundable stage. But once you signed up for a project proposal, we have a kickoff call, a design session, deep dive, and then your project proposal. And there's some behind the scenes things happening with our site engineers after our first call together, so the home consultants can communicate exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve. We've got that site map that we can put a couple different homes to scale and put it exactly where you want it. We identify your utilities and locations of things, and that way we can engineer exactly how we're going to get utilities and delivery, and double check code and zoning for your project, and get you a really accurate proposal based off of your designs within just a couple week time frame. From there, we're probably going to get you so excited about this project that you're just going to say, let's keep going. And if you want to keep going, that's when we get you started with phase 1. That's only a $9,500 deposit towards the entire project. And that carries with you all the way through an approved permit or your money back. So as I've mentioned several times, we're excited about the project proposal. We think that it's the best opportunity for you to really get transparent costs around what you should allocate for this project. We have the opportunity for you to design your entire home and take a deep dive into your local rules and permit costs, impact fees, just a lot of things that are going to be hard to wrap up in a general price per square foot. And yes, general timeline, like it's not like that anymore. It is really detailed. It is, yeah, well, based off of these 5 other projects that we have in various stages in your neighborhood, this is what things are costing right now. And this is how much time they're taking. And this is how much an impact fee was for a 1,000 square foot home in Oakland. There's a lot of that type of value that you get out of this. you also get just a bunch of information around building something on your property. If you've been thinking about it, there's just no better way to get a lot of information, no cost obligation to you, by signing up for a project proposal. So we've got that QR code there. And then of course, on our homepage, the top bar there just says get started, plug in your address, and you can start that journey as soon as right now. So I'll jump over to some Q&A, and then I know we're running a little long, so I may cut it short. But again, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. We're all fired up over here, and we've got a growing team, and we are trying to be your local expert as best we can. And we're just excited to continue the conversation and help you determine if building an ADU is what you'd like to do. All right, so we got a question from Amy around thanking you for all the information. You're welcome. About landscaping. We want to make the property look really nice. Sure. There's different areas that we are the industry experts on, and our main focus is getting you a completed home that has certificate of occupancy. You have the right decking and the right access points and egress points to get you that final COO or certificate of occupancy. But you're right, a lot of times there's, a pergola or fence or some steps that really lead up to that home. So we don't take care of that directly, but it's pretty regularly. We have either active projects or homes that are complete, or even in our gallery that we can reach out and see who did some of their local landscaping and landscape designers. The house I'm in right now, I've J Landscape Designs in Sonoma County. We use them quite a bit. So we can connect you or connect you with somebody that we've used in the past for other projects. Does the cost include site prep like foundation, electrical, water, and sewer? Yeah, it does. We're going for no surprises here. We're going for no change orders. We're just trying to show you exactly what the costs are going to be as soon as you get into this project proposal stage. We're going to break out every little thing, all the way to the site restroom facilities and maybe a little demo of a concrete slab or a small shed in your backyard. Like, there's a lot of things in construction that have 4 figures on them, and we're trying to include all of those right away. So a lot of times people think that our prices are lower or higher compared to others that bid the same job. And then we look at it and we're like, well, you've got a 100 amp power panel and you're going to need electrical upgrade, and we don't know of your sewer lateral yet, and we need to inspect that. And there's just no way of really telling until you get really involved. So that's really something that Villa can help you with, and even help you compare side by side with others that are trying to essentially give you something that you think is about the same as typically not apples to apples. So is it possible to build a townhome with Villa? We are not building multifamily structures right now. There's just a lot of interesting things happening with laws and our various partners from a factory standpoint, giving us the ability to possibly build more custom homes or townhomes or multifamily structures, 2-story structures. But it really feels like, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves until some of these laws are firmed up around what that exactly is. A lot of times there's height restrictions as well on how high you can build an ADU. And we're actively looking into those and have a pretty big department for that. We've got time for one more question. If anybody's got a question, feel free to answer it now. Otherwise, we'll cut a little early, and really appreciate everyone's time. Definitely check out our website, fill out that get started option, and that'll give you a full quick quote and the option to continue working with us. So a question about timeline and kind of what that process is. Again, we're allocating about 3 months for permitting, and that's maybe a little ambitious, but we want to get ahead of things so we don't get hung up in permitting too long, because the longer we sit in permitting, the further out your project is and the more things happen, you know, in the industry. So we want to get to that point where we get locked in right away and get you through permitting as quickly as possible. And that's another reason why we are becoming that local expert, because you are, we're continuing to submit permit applications in these 100+ jurisdictions that have already seen our name, already know we have our ducks in order and everything looks clean. And it's just, again, that ministerial check, approved. So great. Well, thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate your time today. We'd love to continue the conversation. Check out our website and that instant quote. And if you're really excited to continue exploring this with us and want to dive in deeper, we've got that project proposal set up for you that we'd love to keep working with you on. All right. Thanks again and take care.